I ordered the Sony PlayStation Portable 1000. This is the first version out of Amazon from Germany. So in this video, I'm gonna unbox, make sure that this is no brick, and see if this can play a UMD and read my card. So let's start.
So here we are back at my review table. This is the Sony PlayStation 1001 Black Edition, used, by the way, with a new battery. So this is the listing from eBay, where I bought this off for 49.99 euros. But at the end I had to pay also shipping, something like 14 euro. I wanted to have the original Sony PSP for so long, and I think I owned one of those devices, but it was years ago. So right now in my collection I do have the Sony PSP 3004, again a Euro version, fully modded, with some very nice thing inside and emulation. And of course I have the very original Sony PlayStation Vita. This is the fat one, the first model, probably also the best for me, yeah, with this nice OLED screen. But I wanted to also test the Sony PSP 1000, and right now, for the first time on the channel, I'm gonna unbox it. Hopefully everything is gonna be correct. I have also some things I want to test. So this is an original Sony Memory Stick Duo Pro, 4 GB, and I was also able to find one of them UMD discs. Here I do have Virtua Tennis World Tour, alright, UMD. So that's very important to check if actually the console is going to be able to read it. Without any further ado, let's try to unbox, inspect, clean and test, and maybe I will also put a custom firmware. No, maybe. I'm doing this for sure. Alright, I'm really going full in on this. Am I gonna get scammed? Some amazing packages here. Yeah, nothing inside. Whew, here it is, guys. No charge included. Now, the main question is this going to be a legit? Is this going to really work? Or am I really getting scammed here? By the way, the seller had a very good reputation, nice rating. So I hope that this is the real thing. Alright, he put some extra effort to really pack it. Oh my, I can tell you, just from weighing this in with my hand, oh my god, it's hefty. Oh my god, here it is, guys. This is the Sony PSP 1000. Jesus, and this looks to be a very preserved unit. Alright, this seems to be a bit soft here. Let's try to compare it versus mine. This unit seems to be very much preserved, in a very good shape. Here we do have the serial number. All right, here this is where your charger is. Boom, this is the switch on. Oh my god, this looks amazing. Is this possible? Like, this looks really like brand new. Is this like a custom shell or not? I cannot really verify. Memory gate. Let's try to check the battery, because he said that a new battery was included. The battery, definitely not a real one. This is definitely like a fake battery. Yeah, battery pack SP110, 1800 mAh. Anyway, what is important is to check here, Sony PSP 1001. Okay, we have also this sticker here, which is good. Maybe they open it, maybe they did some cleaning. Nevertheless, it seems to be the real deal. Take again a look at this beauty. Absolutely stunning. Also from this end, there are absolutely no scratches. Now let's try to check the UMD drive. It's very interesting because unlike the 2000 and the 3000, where you just, like, this feels so cheap, right? We just open it like this. Here in the PSP 1000, we should have a spring-loaded mechanism. So boom! Wow. All right, it opens. Let me try to clear the screen a bit, and I want to insert the memory card inside. So how does it work? You open it from here. Now I need to put my card like this. All right, I've heard the click. Boom. By the way, just comparing the quality, this feels really like premium material. Now this is better for me. It's glossy, but you can see also it attracts a lot of fingerprints. Now I don't have any way of verifying if this shell here is actually the original one, but this PSP just amazes me with how well it is preserved. You can see this is my 3000 unit, and it's also in a very nice mint condition almost, but it took a lot of beating. So now, without any further ado, I'm gonna try to launch it. Power is on. All right, reading the card, hopefully. Where is the sound? Oh my god, the battery almost depleted. All right, we have sound. What about the display? Okay, this is the maximum option. Let's go with this. And I want to check the software on this thing. Let's go and check the system Einstellungen, battery information, Ladestatus. This means how much charge I have. Only 8%. Oh my god, I have to kind of like charge it. Memory stick formatieren. I don't want to do this. I want to see system information. So it is an absolutely unhacked PSP 6.61. This is the latest firmware. So this is not bad. Let's check what happens when I go inside my card. Oh, Chrono Switch downgrader, alright. Those are all the things that I do have on the card to install the Infinity firmware builder. Now, I don't want to do this. I'll just probably hack it later with the ARC 4. And now a very big test. What I want to do right now is open the UMD drive. I'm going to take this. Let's hope that it's going to work. Okay, it's inside. And now I'm just going to close it. Let's see how noisy this thing is going to be. And is the drive gonna work? Is it spinning? Alright, can't feel anything. Oh, wait. Okay, I think it's... Oh my god, yeah! Virtual tennis. It loaded up my UMD. Damn, so it's a fully functional PSP. I'm so happy about this. Let's see if the game will come true though, because I want to test also the buttons, if all my buttons are operational. I can hear this thing just spinning around. I have selected Schnelles Match, which means a quick game. Alright, you hear the noises? This is the optics inside, so I was able to surf. Okay. This feels kind of okay, I would say. Oh. Yeah. Doppelfehler. I did like a double fall here. You can see there are no annoying scan lights. This is one of the reasons why I really so hard wanted to get the Sony PSP, because of this premium build quality. Sadly, the only limitation is it has like twice smaller RAM size compared to the 3000, which can be a problem for emulation. But this screen, like so much better than my PSP 3000. And in fact, I do have the very same game on the 3000 and I'm gonna show it to you. Oh my god, didn't see this, right? Didn't see this, right? Yeah, I'm still getting back to my tennis roots. Let's try to see if charging is gonna work. So I have my custom-made charger, by the way, out of an IKEA cable, so it's USB. And now I'm putting it here. All right, we have the red light. This is good. Oh, yep, definitely charging. All right, guys, here the PSP 1000, here the PSP 3000. This is the lowest brightness setting. Something that is quite obvious even right now is like how much more saturated the display of the PSP 3000 is. So this is brightness level 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 is absolutely killing it. Now, let's see what happens on the PSP 1000. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is now the highest brightness setting. And in terms of view angle, like this thing definitely better. So you can see this is it, right? You can probably still see it from here. And with the 1000, I'll say probably about the same. But honestly, this is so much more saturated. So now let's go and show you the other colors. What? All right, the yellow color. Oh my god. Is this even an original display? I don't know. But you can see definitely how much more saturated this is. This is the volume of the PSP 1000. Well, this feels really like a brick compared to the slimmer 3000. So this is now the volume of the Sony PSP 3000. I would say it's about the same. All right. Now take a look at this. This is the Sony PSP 3000. The scan lines are not so obvious when I record this footage with the camera. But honestly, in the real life environment, they are. I'm not sure if the camera can pick this up. All right, you can see how it goes like this. All right, and here, you know, so you see, definitely this one is a tiny bit better in terms of color saturation and brightness. But the scan lights are so annoying. Definitely the PSP 1000 display feels a tiny bit crisper. But now let's see the motion blur. Because there was some sign already like of motion blur when things are moving, you see, like that. The scan lines here definitely noticeable, by the way. So yeah, honestly, it's not ideal. This thing here though, a tiny bit better in terms of having virtually no scan lines, probably just a tiny bit more motion blur that I wanted to have. Definitely a very much preserved unit. There are no big issues with it. So honestly, I'm happy with my purchase. And I can tell you guys, I now understand like this thing really so tiny compared to the original PSP 3000. You can see, right? This feels so hefty, right? And by the way, yeah, there are some things in terms of functionality that you will not find here. I do believe that this one can do video output, probably cannot do it from here. On this end, by the way, it is almost kind of the same, although there are some changes here. The charging port, this is the power button. Also, you take the card from here, and on the PSP 2000 is from here. Honestly, I'm really happy with that unit. Boom, you know, reading UMD drives. Now it's probably a good time to see if my 3000 is going to be able to read UMD drive, because believe it or not guys, I cannot remember, it's been so long ago I used the UMD in my PSP 3000. Oh my god, some nasty sounds. Yeah, the UMD drive works here as well. The Sony PSP 1000 is quite famous for being over-engineered. This feels really like a premium device, premium technology, and you can tell by just holding it. You know, it has metal, it has plastic, and it really weighs. So this one here is circa 280 grams versus this thing here that is 189. So this is the PSP 3000, also known as the Bright Edition because of the screen. But this thing is only 19 millimeters. You can see this is a slim version, and this one is 23, so it's very thick, right? And it has these ergonomic grips on the back that is kind of easy for you to hold like this, compared to the PSP 3000 that is kind of like completely flat and it's not so ergonomic. But there are way more changes than you might think. So let's take the UMD drive. First things first, we have a button, we open this, and it has a mechanical latch, so it has a lot of moving parts. And this thing here, the later version, has just like a tray style. You open it from here, and it feels a bit plastic and yeah, kind of like finicky. And then we have the speakers. On the Sony PSP 3000 we have the front firing speakers that are here towards your face, and on the original Sony PSP 1000 we have bottom firing speakers, still a change. But what is probably the biggest change is the display. So the Sony PSP 1000, actually they use an early LCD, and although it was considered to be great back in the days, it suffers from ghosting, which means that if you play fast moving pacing games, you're gonna get motion blur. And this was very obvious even with my initial virtual tennis testing. So fast paced or fast moving action will leave these trails, which is kind of annoying. So Sony tried to fix this with the PSP 3000. So it has much wider color gamut as we've seen, and also better, higher contrast. So yeah, no more ghosting, or let's say limited. So the ghosting is gone, but they introduced scan lines. And sadly, the scan lines are visible exactly with the same very fast-paced action. But on top of this, they added nice anti-reflective coating for better outdoor play. And we can kind of see this, like the viewing angle is definitely better compared to the Sony PSP 1000. And if you might think that those are the only changes, well, they're not. So the Sony PSP 3000 has double the RAM. It has 64 megabytes of RAM versus my original Sony PSP 1000 that has only 32 megabytes. And while technically this is good enough for PSP games, well, it means longer loading times when you put those babies, the UMDs, and specifically for emulation, which I want to do with this device, it might be a bit problematic. Also, the Sony PSP 3000 has some things that were never there in the original unit. So first thing first, we have a built-in microphone, which is cool. No microphone here, you have to use probably an external accessory. And also, you can use video out through the port, which is kind of nice. And you can see this icon here, you can plug your headphones and also use this as a video out port, which means that technically this was a very early attempt for something like the Switch, but long before the Switch. And last but not least, the original capacity for the Sony PSP 3000 was only 1200 mAh versus the monster battery that we have here, 1800 mAh. But you know, the irony is that you're probably gonna get the same playtime with both versions. And now my cat passing by. Thank you so much, Mr. Cat. And now what about hacking or modding, installing a custom firmware? Now back in the days, 2007 to 2010, it was problematic because you required a Pandora battery to kind of be able to install custom firmware. But because we're living in 2026 right now with Arc 4, I can install a full permanent custom firmware and minutes. I only need my card inside, and hopefully this is what I'm going to do after I wrap up this video. If you have enjoyed this video, you might as well want to check the videos I did with the PSP 3000, namely how to install ARC 4, and also check some of my gameplay with it and why I do believe that it's the perfect time to enter Sony PSP if you did not have already done that. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, VST over, and bye.